Folks, it's Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Now, I don't know how my signal's doing. I'm multi-streaming. Ha ha ha. I should be multi-streaming. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I don't even know what time it is. I got a late start. Again, let me check the time here. And while we're waiting for folks to get into the chats, I'm 5 minutes late. I apologize. Apologize to everybody, if that's the proper way to say it. But anyway, I tried to do this last night, and it was an abysmal failure. So I had to just do a talkie. Now I could do a picture show on Utizzle and supposedly on Rumble. But when we get people in the chats, I'll be able to know if I've got a 5x5, a smooth stream or not. But SCOTUS had oral arguments today. We're going to talk about that, and it's interesting. I think SCOTUS is given a little lesson. Okay, it's funny how they ask questions, and you think the justice is thinking a certain way, but they're really trying to elicit discussion, thoughts, objections. To me, that are very obvious. But anyway, let's see who's making it in. Bubba's got in here. How you doing, Bubba? And MS Motorsports, how are you? Single songwriter, Alan. Nice to see you all. So let me know if the chats are sticking on the screen or if I've got a clear screen. That way I'll know where to be putting my stuff, even though I'm trying something a little bit different. Let me know if we got a good signal, because I am multi-streaming on Bumble. So, single songwriter got a 5x5. That's good. That's good. David, how you doing? Gloria, Ann, nice to see you. So, or my chat, clear screen, single songwriter says, all right. Remember, I have a little drag in the system now, a little delay. Boy, I tell you what, we'll go through stuff as much as possible. I probably got almost, I'm not kidding you, 100 things in my studio to put on the screen, but I'll do the best I can. And usually when I start late, we don't have too many viewers as usual, but and some of the people that are usually in have to go to bed. I understand that. So no pressure, no nothing on nobody. So, but we'll go through this stuff as quick as we can. How about Alvin Bragg? Their narrative is falling apart. And for people coming in to visit with us who don't know what's going on, I'll tell you, the bottom line is that we're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar, as Mr. T termed it, illegal psychological warfare campaigns in the plural. We've been dealing with it for decades, and the narrative is cracking, is falling apart. Here's this nice-looking man here, RAP, and for my Rumble viewers, I spell stuff out because of the platform I'm multi-streaming on doesn't permit certain words, so I have to kind of talk sideways sometimes, but usually it's in a way that you can figure out. The conviction of this movie producer, Harvey Weinstein, was overturned by New York's highest court. Now, what's interesting, I'll go through this real quick. What's interesting about this, one of the main reasons they turn it down, and throughout the conviction, even though he's still convicted in California and a 16-year sentence in California, okay? This is New York, where he had 22 years, I believe. Remember when I was saying they were trying to bring in Trump's past, air quotes, bad acts, finger pointing? Here's E. Jean Carroll. He got a judge found him guilty of RAPE with E. Jean Carroll, even though we know it's a bunch of hooey. And here we'll reference his past bad act with the Access Hollywood tape where he admits he grabs women, but we won't play the tape, but we'll talk about it, his past bad act and crap like that. They've got thousands of, quote, bad acts that are unproven finger pointing and garbage with Mr. T. Well, that is exactly what got this. Now, I'm not saying Weinsteinio's innocent by any means. He's a creep. He's one of the Epstein crowd. He's probably involved in, might as well say Luciferianism, Satanism, whatever you want to call it. And in my opinion. And so, yeah, he's still got 16 years. He's got a battle. But the thing is, that decision to come out right when they're trying to get this so-called judge, Merchan, to admit these alleged bad acts. Here he is right here. Trump will receive a fair and impartial trial, says judge, as construction crew builds gallows outside courtroom. So anyway, it's funny how these things go. Now, I talked about this last night. The scalp pool. I had this up a year ago. And the first four on there, Chris Cuomo, John Griffin, Rick Salaby, and Jeff Zucker were gone. And I said, I need to find that scalp pool and update it. Well, I was going through my stuff during the week when I was trying to forward videos to Bumble, since UTizzle blocked Bumble from receiving videos, which caused me a lot of problems. And I still got a lot of work to do. But anyway, I went through and found this, and it's Toobin, Don Lemon, and Brian Stelter. And that leaves us with 3 on the original scalp pool. I'm not sure, but did they get rid of Jake Tapper totally or just partially? Maybe somebody could let me know in the chats. And how you doing, Ravens? Alicia, how you doing? Gloria, Debbie, how you doing? Diane. Did I see Wanda earlier? I am. Angela's here. Yeah, there's Wanda. Ronald's here. All right, everybody's rolling in. All right, folks. That's great. So, new comments. All right. Melinda, hi. Jersey Joe said, yikes. So anyway, the narrative, we got to keep, when we get on top, we got to keep pounding like an MMA fight. All right. Because ever since really Barry Hussein got in, ever since he got in, they've had total control of the narrative. All right. And we're living in a time when intelligent people are being silenced so stupid people won't be offended. He's moving back to daytime. Okay, yeah. So he's close. He's close. But you saw the list there. How many we got? Now, we're on top with what I was going to talk about last night was the plan, and then the other word is demic. We're on top with that, and we got to keep reminding people, because that is the single most did the most damage up until the actual steal to our society. It exposed a lot. A lot of people came out and showed their true colors, but it caused a lot of physical, might as well say violence, because of people attacking other people who weren't covering up or who weren't getting their SHOT, and we had people taking advantage of the ability to cover their faces to commit crimes and mostly peacefully protest. And the fear, okay, the psychological effects, the children not going to school, which cause more isolation and steering young people more towards a unhealthy way of living. I'll put it that way. So anyway, customers bought this item, also bought, and you see what it is. Ukraine flag and the Gaza-Israel business going on now. Wayne, how you doing? Good evening to you also, David. All right. Nice to see you, Roberto. Says hello. So anyway, I had a bunch of stuff about that issue I might get to tonight. But where's my notepad? Oh, I left my notepad in the other room. I tell you, it's hard to get ready for these streams, especially when you're a one-man band. But might as well go along with some, keep going with some of these MEMEs, right? Here we go. Biden doesn't need a cognitive test. His voters do. It's getting to the point. Did you see Mr. T going down to New York? Hi, Richard. How you doing? Angela, I see what you're saying. Yeah. They know the fix is in. We know they're going to do something. And, well, single songwriter, I have problems ambulating. I've talked about in past broadcasts from an injury I'm dealing with. So I've got enough stuff in here. I'll go through things, and by the time my hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes is up, I've still got half a studio full of stuff I never got to put up and talk about. So I'll just keep on rolling. But anyway, the fix is in with these people. And there's one meme somebody put up that kind of made me feel the same way as you. And if I get down to it and find it, here we go. Here we go. This kind of made me worry, just like you all were in. Normal isn't coming back. So get off your knees and resist. Because I assure you, what they have planned is far worse than anything they've done. Hi, Debbie. How are you? A Google account. How you doing? Okay, single songwriter. I appreciate it. So, listen, folks, this isn't new news. Mr. T has told us that we haven't suffered, the Americans aren't feeling it, that we have to pay the price of madness. And until Americans feel it, they're not going to change. We know that. And that, that's just from Mr. T. We've heard the warnings. Who's that colonel that goes on with Tucker Carlson? I can't remember. Is it McConnell or McDonald or anyway, McGregor? I can't remember his name, but he's saying, hey, World War III is at the doorstep. We know the currency is in trouble. We know it is fiat currency. It's smoke and mirrors. We know. And so we can't be shocked. Of course, we can be concerned. But being forewarned is, as my father used to always say, forearmed. Okay? And here's something for us to think of right here. Instead of a great reset, we're doing the great resist. They will own nobody, and they will be unhappy. Okay? We're taking slings and arrows for our future generations to live in peace, prosperity, and happiness. And getting back to the SCOTUS situation, the unspoken thing that I'm sure the justices are going to discuss, what they've basically described, this Dreeben. Did you all watch Mr. Dreeben giving his arguments to the Supreme Court? What a drip, but he's an authoritarian drip. And what he described was an entity, whether he knows it or not. He's describing an entity that is the equivalent of a prosecutorial Politburo, okay? Where is that in the Constitution that you have a group of prosecutors that can decide to headhunt a former president? All right? Look what they're doing to Trump. Unheard of. Any prosecutor in any state can just come up with something, and with the media narrative being solidly in the Democrat camp, childish drum beats like no one is above the law, no one is above the law, from the river to the sea, that kind of stuff, okay? Well, that's mob rule. And who are these people? As Trump always says, who are these people that have the audacity? Remember the book from Hussein, Audacity of Hope? They have the audacity to assume that they can just create this entity that is nowhere in the Constitution. As a matter of fact, there's safeguards against this type of entity that can, like an octopus, take one tentacle over here and do a charge, one tentacle over here and make a charge, thousands of tentacles with like-minded tyrants. They can basically run our country. And there's no other way for me to describe it than a shadow entity, an administrative body, unaccountable, unelected, and unconstitutional. What's the discussion they're going to have if they got any brains in their head? And I know they do. Any of these judges that don't agree with the scenario I just put out, which is accurate and factual, how about when they decide not only they didn't like the president, but what about a judge? Okay? You saw the warm-up when they were attacking Clarence Thomas, okay, and his wife. So where does this Politburo, a group of political bureaucrats, that's what a Politburo is. Political bureaucrats. Political bureau, bureaucrats. So you have this prosecutorial Politburo they want to establish through Supreme Court precedent. Where does it stop? Does it stop at the president? Or, how about we go? Look what they did to Ted Stevens. Okay? Alaska Senator Ted Stevens. Falsely, his charges were overturned after he lost his Senate seat, but that loss of a Senate seat gave Obama, in his first term, control of the Senate, and they passed that Communist Care Act, okay? They called it the Affordable Care Act, but I'm going to be accurate. All right. Ted Stevens, after the case was thrown out, he lost his office. He died in a plane crash. Oh, that judge was the same judge that went after Michael Flynn. Okay. So we're starting to see how this stuff works. Let's see who's in here. That's right, CCA. So now listen, if we get anybody in the chat, so I don't see anybody in the chat, that's not like-minded, don't respond to them. If I spot them, I'll engage as I see fit or block as I see fit. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, I've got that in my. Hi, Alan. How you doing? And thank Alan for stopping by on Buy Me a Coffee. I don't have any link in my YouTube, but I have Buy Me a Coffee. Put in Mountain Man, and it takes you right to Buy Me a Coffee. I'm trying to see where I have that Arizona. Here, this made one person reach out to me, this meme right here. This made a person reach out to me and said, hey, you made me think differently about how I used to. Hi, Joel, how you doing? Thomas, how you doing? So I'm just, when I get quiet, folks, I'm just looking through the chats. So yeah, Arizona pulled a indictment scammeroonie here. Where in the world is that? And that's fine. That is going to be drawing them out of the woodwork. They're going to ride that tiger, remember? He who chooses to ride the tiger might end up in his belly, right? So, yeah, they indicted, they called them false electors. I might not have got that uploaded. But, yeah, bring it on. Exposure. That's the way I look at it, exposure. Here you go. Speaking of exposure, this was the last video I did on this subject, was the Senate on UTISL before I got shut down by YouTube, going to UTISL. U.S. Capitol Code of Conduct allowed Palestinian flag and doing you-know-whats in the Senate room and pulling fire alarms, but not allowed is praying, a praying grandmother. So I'm going to forward these memes to my account on Truth Social. If you don't go to that, you can grab screenshots of these and share them. And hey, this is a good one right here. What does a government that has disarmed its citizens do? Whatever it wants. Spreading like glitter, you say, a Google account. Yeah, I tell you what, I kind of disagreed with this meme when I first saw it, but I kind of agree with it now. When I hear people say teachers need to be paid more, the public education system should be replaced by YouTube. Now, I got my bone to pick with YouTube, but hey, that and X, that is the two the biggest things in our culture as far as people communicating with one another. So here's one that I thought was funny right here. This is what you call based. When people say somebody's based, dude just casually painting the Federal Reserve in flames with gallows while in front of the Federal Reserve. That's how you do art. So what was the name of that guy that would do paintings and he'd talk while he's doing paintings? Now this is la la la. And he'd do his clouds or nice soft clouds. I could have got a picture of his face and put it on here, showing him painting the flames on the Federal Reserve, but I didn't do it. But anyway, here we go. Let's see. Now, I can't say everything in this post, but it is something for people to think about that are, no matter what, they're against Trump. No matter what, they're from the river to the sea. Blah, blah, blah. Hamas, what they did, okay? I can say the word, well, I guess I can say some of it. They butchered and burned Israelis and their babies alive and paraded around the streets. Yeah, they did. Today in the U.S., we have entitled little Ivy League students terrorizing people on campus. And their punishment, ? Student loans paid off by American taxpayers. Thanks, Joe Biden. Hi, Araceli. How are you? That's right, Debbie. Happy trees. Bob Ross. That's right, single songwriter. Bob Ross. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, now we have somebody that comes for the most part quite a bit on our channel. They may watch, they come in the chats quite a bit, Georgia. Now, if she catches this video later, anything, she started a channel where everybody can start a channel on YouTube. So, anything people want to grab a screenshot, pull a clip, whatever, do it of mine and use it. I'm not concerned about, oh, they took my stuff, whatever. I don't care about that. I care about getting the word out. Here's what I played as my intro. Here's what I played in my intro to on Rumble, you could put a little intro video before your live stream. This is what I played on my intro video on Bumble.
Hello and welcome to Inside Politics. Let's start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Now, of course, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Trump appointed Donald Trump.
Well, that's interesting because Trump.
President Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Trump has been president.
President Trump.
Kaylin, where are we right now in this sentencing proceeding?
Donald Trump.
Trump. We have a Donald Trump.
Donald Trump when it comes to Donald Trump.
Trump. And Donald Trump. Missing from that is Donald Trump.
Trump focus on Donald Trump. Trumpism. Trump. A lot of Trumps.
Fascinating.
In a sense, I don't know why we're surprised by Trump. How many times does he have to prove we can't be trusted?
How appropriate was that? So I stitched those two videos together, and I'll do little tutorials on how people can grab clips and stitch them together and play them on their YouTube channel and get the word out. Or if you just want to grab my clip, okay, X Recorder, you can download it in your phone, or your phone may be equipped where you can grab videos, screen grab, and edit them that might already be in your phone. And just, post it on YouTube. You can do Mountain Man clips. You can do your own clips. You can use my voice, my pictures, anything. You don't even have to say anything about me. A shout out's good, but, if you don't, that's fine too. It's getting the word out. I'm trying to see now. This is what I talked about last night about the deep state cracking, okay? It's worldwide, folks. Hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? It's worldwide, and even the Ruskies have to deal with the C.I.A., right? And they don't actually have to have agents. All they got to do is have somebody they bribed. This is a deputy defense minister of the Russian Federation behind a glass cage in court. I talked about it last night. Timur Ivanov in a bribery case. Deputy Minister of Defense Ivanov charged with receiving a bribe. They said it was over $1 million. He's in the Moscow City Court. He entered into a criminal conspiracy, allegedly, with third parties related to contracting and subcontracting for the needs of the Ministry of Defense. So that's just to show you it's worldwide, wide and deep. Here, I just had that meme up about the education system. Here's what Wokeness put up. 2017, we had 47.4 million students. In 2023, we had 46.8 million students. What? With all that immigration, we've got less students? Well, I tell you what, when you decide to be a bender, okay, I'll put it that way. You put a G, all right, you decide to be a bender. You usually can't have kids, all right? 600,000 less students. 2017, 6.1 million school employees. 2023, 6.4 million school employees. 300,000 more staff. Wow. The result, only 26% of 8th graders are proficient in math versus 33% in 2017. But they all know about gender theory. And those are built-in votes right there. Of course, there's still conservative teachers. Of course, there are teachers that are good, and the students will have precious memories. I've got precious memories of my old teachers back in the day. We know there are good ones out there. But most of them are recruited because of their beliefs, and their beliefs are RADICLE, right? CAL, I mean. Here you go. Stop calling a refund. You overpaid all year and you got your change back. On X, I just ghost. I don't post. I got a few posts, but it is Mountain Man. But I don't post. I interact with so many different things to try to keep up with stuff. Hi, Astro. How you doing? That's right, Roland. Thank you for misspelling the word. Raven's Wings. Yeah. I ghost. I don't post. I don't trust it that much still, even with Elon at the helm. I had another creator contacting me, and I can't, in comments, I don't put anything out about my personal situations or anything. So here's something. Citizens Free Press. I like them. I follow them. I check them. I check Mr. T every day. I check Citizens Free Press every day. A lot of things. And before you know it, half the day is shot. But you keep up with everything here. A New York leftist sees "Let's Go Brandon" bumper sticker on a truck in a supermarket while on vacation in Florida. Oh, okay. You're about, 5,000 miles from home? Well, not that much, but and decides to key the vehicle, all caught by security cameras, gets arrested and handcuffed as his wife looks on. Now, I didn't grab a clip of it because it's just the cop saying, you remember what you did in that parking lot? No, I went and got some groceries. You remember a green truck? Oh, yeah, I kind of do. Well, they got security cameras everywhere. And I saw what you did. So he admitted, he said, I read that bumper sticker and it just enraged me. And he said, okay, well, put your hands behind your back. And there he is with his hands behind his back. So how stupid can you be? Speaking of stupid, here they are right here. Now, that top word, and then a VAX, right? Oh, my God. You're literally trying to KILL me. And then the Palestinian dude says, or whatever, says, I'm literally going to KI and then double LU. And assalamu alaikum, my brother. Yeah, that's the way they are. Why would someone think like this? Because they can't say that they don't. They can't say that they don't think like this and how they behaved during that pandemic. I'm going to put up memes about that. I might not be able to do it tonight, but in future broadcasts, because we have to stomp that into the ground. You know how they put out these messages? Well, we got to have a truce and, accept our apology. No, we have to keep reminding them because of the damage it did to this country. The results of a illegal psychological warfare campaign, one of them, we're dealing with a lot of them. Exactly right. MK, okay? Use a 4 for an A next time, single songwriter, because that word is, probably looked at. Just use a 4 for an A. We know what it means. Hi, Ivan, how you doing? That's right, damn dummies. So, anyway, we got to keep on. That narrative is cracking wide open. You don't see anybody running around here. Let me see what some of the stuff I have. Some of the things, as we've said before, here we go. As we said before, people don't care unless their ox is getting gored, right? Now this stuff is coming out that's not getting reported. The only way it gets reported is people like us, okay? Passing it around. There's a, here we go. I'm going to take a chance with this, folks. I pulled this off of a Rumble video. Oh, gosh. I got to get some of my photos down. I pulled this off a Bumble video. And I haven't heard it in the U.S. news at all. So if we got anybody from New Zealand, I got to keep it small because it's harder for the rhythm to catch it. Data from the New Zealand Ministry of Health shows that the COVID have unalived more than 10 million worldwide. That's data from a government Ministry of Health. I'll make it big, all right? It's finally here. Record level data showing the timing and the end of their end of life. There's no confusion any longer. They're unsafe. And this is written by Steve Kirsch. Can you goggle it? I don't know. But you put that on top of the health official, the Surgeon General in Florida saying it was not fit for humans, MR and then NA, not fit for humans. People need to see that. Does it make sense now? Huh? Fauci put $500 million of our dollars into that. He owns half the patent. He has 5 guys who are working for him and who are entitled to collect royalties from that. So you have a corrupt system. And now they've got a VAX and it's too big to fail. People need to see that stuff, folks. Because then when you see that stuff, the little puppet master, okay, makes more sense. That meme makes more sense. And before this is over with, things are going to come into play like the Geneva Conventions, okay? Perfidy, which is when you tell somebody you're going to do something to make them safe and you're really lying to them and defrauding them psychologically to cause them to do something that's going to harm them. It's in the laws of war. It's a crime. Perfidy. Look it up. It's kind of like we're in a sane experiment to see how much they can get away with before people say, what the heck? All right? Well, they didn't say heck. But we're going to keep rubbing it in because what else have they done? What are they haven't totally let it go. They're going to grab for every damn straw they can grab at. When they were putting out there this disease X stuff, remember? Wait a minute, let me see what I got here. I got something else. Just to make people think, here we go. The majority of scientists agree with those that fund them. It's the money, not the science. No, we're not going to let it go. Here we go. I agree with this. The day this psychopath announced that 7 billion people should get that, I became an anti-that. And that's V-A and then X, right? He said, we can reduce the world population, right? That it needed to be reduced, significantly reduced, and we can do that through V and then AX, right? So how stupid can people be? Or is it trusting? Are they trusting or are they stupid? And, you know, some people get upset when I try to reach out and I try to talk to people who are still in that state of mental fog. And, you know, maybe I'll get through to them and maybe I won't. But, hey, maybe I should keep it like this right here. Your friends, my friends, okay? You want to get a screen grab of that. But as I said, I don't see Tennessee. He watched the Christian Prince, and he works his rear end off trying to get people to see the way, the truth, and the light. But when you get people to this point right here, this is showing up on Sky News Australia. Woman takes son to a vet because he identifies as a cat. Okay? I know people have their issues with Planned Parenthood and all this kind of stuff. But, hey, there are times when parents don't cut it. And this is a good thing about this younger creators, and compared to my geographic and myself, this is a young person. Students protest litter boxes in bathrooms. Media lied. Furries get school, walk out of school, whatever. So you've got beyond the gender bending, okay? But back to the, so you get people believing in that crap, then the VAX is small potatoes. But this will get people thinking, Gateway Pundit, top international virologist issues dire warning. 2 times he says it, massive tsunami, okay, of unaliving among highly VAX, right, is imminent. And somewhere in here I've got this might be it. Oh, okay, so in the EU, scientists say the ones in the EU were placebos, basically saline. Can you believe them or not? I don't know. But I've got another one saying that the C and then DC actually came out and said that 5% of the batches cause 95% of the injuries, okay? The question is, are you in that 5%? Here's something. Nobody's reporting on this either. Texas Attorney General sues Pfizer, alleging company deceived the public. Nobody's talking about that. And hey, if Alvin Bragg can go after Donald Trump, then Ken Paxton can go after Pfizer, okay? Here. I'm not letting it go. And I'm going to keep on pounding. 1,312 athletes suffered from cardiac arrest and passed away from 1970 to 2020. I talked about when Lynn Bias got a bad dose of crack, and it shocked the country. He was a young athlete with a lot of promise, and that's how we all learned about crack cocaine. It was so unusual. But here, 2021, 2022, 2 years, 1 year, 1,598 athletes. So, you know, I'm going to go out of my studio and get another picture that people need to see. I'll leave this up for you to look at while I go out of my studio here. What do you want? How do you want to live your life? And on top of that, she's probably looking for a litter box. Let me see what I got to do here to get a picture of something that is fact. Let me see. I've got it over in this folder. Hang on, folks. And while I'm looking for it, I got 9,400 images in this one folder. So let me see if I can find it real quick. Because I keep saying it, we can't let it go. Gosh, did I put that one in there already? All right. Yeah, I got that one in there. Okay. All right, let me see. Where's that? I get that one in there. I get that one. Oh, boy. Hang on, folks. I got some good ones coming up. Just imagine her running around looking for a litter box, okay? While I'm doing this. It won't take me long. And I want to make sure I don't kick myself out of the studio. Oh, I found that picture of the, there it is, of one of the TRANS shooters, okay? Well, anyway, this is a screen grab I did a long time ago. And it's documented there were hundreds of licensed coroners, okay, that got together and were discussing blockages where people couldn't embalm people. And I blotted out the image of one of the blockages they pulled out of somebody's femoral artery. This has been happening since the you-know-what. Funeral director John O'Leary removed it from blood vessels of a young man's heart who died suddenly. It was in his heart. So it's in the femoral artery or gathers in the heart. So people who, I hate Trump. What's their next move? They're going to blame Trump because of Operation Warp Speed. We're not going to let them get away with it. Here we go. There we go. You know, and you know it makes them mad. Astro, how you doing? Now, like I say, if anybody jumps in with a differing point of view, just ignore them, and if I can catch them, thank you, Shauna. Thank you. You know, and the rules in our chat, Shauna, are real simple. If you use any words that you think would cause a problem with somebody with blue hair and a ring through their nose, which are the type of people that review chats and videos, you use a 4 for an A in a controversial word, a 0 for an O in a controversial word, or a 3 for an E or something like that. You don't put just the words in that will set them off, okay? And anyway, don't forget about this, folks. Rand Paul's criminal referral for Dr. Fauci has officially been delivered. Don't forget that's still out there. I'm going to be putting up these memes on my different broadcasts. I'm going to keep doing it. This one here is a brave one. I'd leave it small so it'll confuse the rhythm if I put it on the whole screen. It was using a B weapon, right? To STAL an election, okay? You can get a screenshot of that and blow it up. And this one right here. To people who are on the other side of the fence, please listen to what we're saying. The same person who believes the earth is overpopulated wants to save your life, okay? Don't believe them. Don't trust them. They don't have your good in mind. Here's the one I was talking about last night. Drag queen story hour somehow just got worse. If you're a drag queen and you know it, scream free Palestine. And they're there. Valley families for Palestine. Where is this happening? I don't know. The article didn't say. But there you got kids sitting in the crowd and that thing standing up there underneath the sign. Let me see. Here we go. This graph illustrates the woke mind virus taking over legacy media. Same happened with online media and the education system. Then it spread to other countries. Infection rate almost 100%. But now it will die. He put this out today. Term frequency. See, that's the good thing about the rhythms and why I don't say the terms. I spell them or say them in a weird way. Term frequency in popular U.S. newspaper. And this has to deal with RAC, okay, and an IST. Look at the jump. And it all influences division. All right, it sparks aggressiveness. All right, it causes class division. All right, so we're at the height. We're at the height of these illegal psychological warfare campaigns, and Elon put this out just to show it that it's coordinated. All 4 of these papers. And if they did the same study on the news outlets on cable television, they would find the same thing. Now here. Wow, former AG Bill Barr, who let a lot of great people down by not investigating voter fraud in our country, has just endorsed me for president despite the fact that I called him, quote, weak, slow-moving, lethargic, gutless, and lazy, unquote, New York Post. Based on the fact that I greatly appreciate his wholehearted endorsement, I am removing the word lethargic from my statement. Thank you, Bill. So, according to Trump, he is just now a weak, slow-moving, gutless, and lazy person. So, hey, Bill Barr, it's an improvement. But as you all know, I feel this is his relationship with Bill Barr, part of the show. And like I said, with Sessions, Mike Pence, you might think that it's impossible. But if they had gotten their way with the, I'll call it illness, and they were close to it. I mean, people were not thinking rationally. And you had those three people sticking up for Trump, you'd see all of them on trial right now. All of them would have been impeached and hauled before courts. Don't forget Peter Navarro sitting in jail right now. Don't forget Steve Bannon went to jail, and he even left the administration 2 years prior. All right? So it was to protect them. Look what they did to General Flynn. And, you know, I don't know if some of the people that come in my chats are actually part of the narrative. But I said I could spot the coming narratives by some of the people that come in the chats. Remember when somebody came in and bashed on Viktor Orban? And I was like, and I asked them later on in the chats, I said, why would you pick on Orban? Call him a dictator. What do you know about him? What do you know about Hungary? You don't know the history? Why would you call him a dictator? Now, we see that all the newspapers, all the MSM have been picking on Viktor Orban, trying to treat him like a Putin Jr. Well, what did he say today? The world order based on liberal ideology has failed and must be destroyed. It must be replaced by a system of international relations based on state sovereignty and national interests. This opinion was expressed by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban speaking at the opening of the International Conference of Conservative Political Action in Budapest. That's why we have just your average, everyday American citizens all of a sudden becoming an expert on Viktor Orban because he gets targeted on platforms like Occupy Democrats, DNC, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, people may be on programs. They may not have to suffer the consequences of this Biden economy, but they will be suffering the consequences of it. Here is an example. Where did that go? Of the inflation. We got terrible numbers on that. Where is it? Here we go. Fox Business, these GDP numbers, gross domestic product numbers were shocking. We were expecting a 2.4% growth. The actual came in at 1.6%, a huge loss. And with rising inflation, that adds up to stagflation. That's something we haven't seen since the 70s. For Freedom, how you doing? The 70s, I talked about it. Ain't that something? I talked about the gas lines. I talked about rationing of fuel. I talked about people losing their homes because of 17, 18, 19, 21% interest rates, home interest rates. Carter, it was terrible. How young people today wouldn't have no concept of that happening and that it happened overnight. What if I got Carly Bonnie, speaking of back in the day, she put up something that the reception Trump got in New York reminded her of 1980 and 1984. I didn't get that in my. I'll put it in for next go round. I'm coming close to an hour right now. Oh, okay. All right, for freedom. Oh my gosh, yes, single songwriter. I had a 77 Chrysler LeBaron. I got brand new. That was a top of the line car back then. It was pretty. It was a nice car, but my God, it was nothing but junk. Stephanie, yeah, they're biting student. Yeah, the furries. It's crazy. Debbie, why'd you put that letter in? Oh, my goodness. That's okay. Don't do it anymore, please. Ford Fairmont, yeah. They had all that smog control junk. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tennessee. I don't know. We can't let that go. We got to keep putting out information. Oh my God, reminding people, because it was harmful. It did so much to harm our country. And the J6 thing, we gotta go after that with memes too. Here we go. I'm confused. How many insurrections have tour guides? You know, we're running out of time. It seems like to us. We got to get those tapes out. We've got to get actually the actual individuals behind the violence on that day, J-6, SIX. We got to get that information out there. And here we go. Oh gosh, I don't know if I have it in the studio, but they revived Rudy Giuliani. Did I get that? I'll have to go to the studio to get it, but they revived the investigation in Georgia, if you know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, they were good in the 60s, Ravens. 72 was a good year, too. You had Skylark. Monte Carlo, yeah. Gran Torino. My brother had one of those. $57 olds. That's right. I've said many times if it doesn't need lead additive, it's too high technology for me. I had a 46, a 47 Willys Jeeps. I had a 51 truck, Willys truck for years. It was my only vehicle for years. I had a 55 Thunderbird convertible. I had that for years and years. I've had all kinds of old stuff. Had a 75 Mercedes 450 SL. Had cars all through the 60s. My 77 Chrysler LeBaron. All that stuff. I like reading about cars and stuff. But anyway, let me see if I got that in the studio. Where they opened up the... I'll have to get that on the next one around. They opened up the investigation into the voter situation. But anyway, important piece by a former Trump White House attorney, senior Trump Justice Department official, and Supreme Court clerk James Burnham. No more special counsels. I got off the topic. I was talking about the Supreme Court. And I was talking about a prosecutorial Politburo, unelected shadow bunch that can threaten, menace, affect policy of the U.S. if they can go after presidents, not just Trump, any president. If they can do it to the president, they can do it to congressmen, they can do it to Supreme Court justices, they can do it to individual judges all over the country. you can have unchecked tyranny through an administrative state by prosecution. No more special counsels. It's time to put an end to one of the most destructive regimes in American law enforcement. I thought that ever since, well, actually since Nixon, but when they put Lawrence Walsh after Ronald Reagan, I was like, who the hell do they think they are? And Reagan turned out to be right. He was funding the anti-communist Contras in Nicaragua, in our hemisphere, upholding, the Monroe Doctrine. Now look what they got. Look what happened to Venezuela. Look what happened to Brazil. Argentina's clawing their way out of it through Milei, but they suffered for decades under socialism and communism. They're starving to death. So anyway, yeah, they need to get rid of the special counsel garbage. And Jack Smith isn't even a legitimate special counsel. But Mike Davis put this out too, right here. Dear Democrats, you thought your lawfare and election interference would destroy Trump. As we predicted after the Mar-a-Lago raid 17 months ago. Can you believe that? Oh, 17, you say? Okay. You're only going to put him back in the White House. Now Trump's unstoppable. Special thanks to these 4 partisan Democrat buffoons. Now, look at him. Alvin Bragg. That was his case with Harvey Weinstein. He prosecuted Harvey Weinstein. It just got thrown out. Okay? Fannie Willis. She's got 2 of her cases. Sadow has requested to have those thrown out. And she has gotten herself in a position where she could be looking at charges. Okay? Criminal charges. Jack Smith. He's not even been appointed by Congress. Okay? Not appointed by the Senate. Not a lawful appointment. And he's involved in an extortion case at the World Court. And then you have Letitia James. People are wondering where her 200 million or whatever millions she got from Georgie Soriosio. They're being combed over, okay? They're being combed over. So, yeah, thanks, Democrats. Let me see, what was one I wanted to jump to real quick? Thanks a lot, Democrats. Demon craps. Wow, I went through a lot of them. Here we go. Just like this. Is this true? I talked about this the other night. A broke bartender elected to Congress assumes office in 2019 with a salary of $155,000 is now worth $29 million. How does that happen? I think we're going to find out. Where did my background go? There it is. Got my background back. Ha ha. Yeah, Porsche designed a VW Bug. Everybody says it was Adolf, but it was actually Porsche. People that got VWs could say, I have an early Porsche. Rolling needs a rebuild, huh? Let me see what's going on in the chats. Yeah, Debbie, right. CUE. Thank you, Tennessee. I was thinking the other night, Tennessee, how I was listening to Christian Prince and I'd fall asleep and I'd wake up like 3 a.m. and he's still going after. I couldn't remember what he calls them in his broadcast. Abdul. Abdul. So he would go 3-4 hours with some of these characters. Call him a potato and a donkey and all kinds of stuff. Abdul. I'm just reading the chats here about Alvin Bragg's worth $44 million. What do they pay him for his looks? Or by the pound? I can't believe. Well, I can believe it because they're people are being bought off. You know, I mentioned this. I'm going to bring it up anyway. And I'll tell you why. Because this president let us know something that nobody's reporting about the situation where Joe talked about his uncle. Listen to what is underlying here, what underlies this. Papua New Guinea leader responds to Biden comment saying nation undeserving of cannibalism label. Okay. What else? Let me see. He's basically telling us we got a lot of service members over there. U.S. President Joe Biden caused an international scandal with his claim his uncle may have been eaten by cannibals. According to Reuters, Biden visited the Missing in Action War Memorial in Scranton. The memorial bears another thing, the name of Ambrose Finnegan. Ambrose Finnegan, Biden's uncle, whose plane was shot down. They called him Bozy, all right? But his real name is Ambrose Finnegan. He deserves respect to have his name properly put out there. That's why I didn't post any Biden memes about the cannibal or anything, because Ambrose Finnegan was a real man, and he lost his life. His plane was shot down over New Guinea. His body was never found. He flew single-engine planes and made reconnaissance flights over New Guinea, and it was shot down in an area where there were a lot of cannibals. This is according to Joe. Wait a second. I got to get that to grow here. Biden said, and he clarified the fact his plane disappeared at sea in 1944. But the Prime Minister, James Marath, was outraged and says the country doesn't deserve the labels. But he added Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands remain littered with war-era human remains, aircraft and ship debris, and the remains of bombs that still are killing people. I urge President to force the White House to clean up these remnants of World War II so that the truth about missing service members like Ambrose Finnegan can be determined. So in other words, they didn't bring everybody home. There are MIAs that they could go over there and look for the remains. They could go over there and clean the ordnance up, the live ordnance that is remains and remains to be a threat to citizens in New Guinea. But the bottom line is they didn't make every effort to bring the remains home of our service members. Nobody brings that up, but it upsets me, as I'm sure it upsets you all. But I tell you what, we've got this one right here. Respond intelligently even to unintelligent treatment. I got this one because it's from Sun Tzu, Art of War. We're all supposed to be trying to adhere and understand what's going on, right? Through Sun Tzu, Art of War. And just remember that, folks. So sometimes people being smart Alex in the chats, they're really reaching out. You know, they're looking for an argument, all right, because they want to exercise their mind, and at least they're trying to get out of the drumbeat of misinformation. So, you know, if they're losers and I got to get rid of them, I got to get rid of them. But if there's some hope, what were we told? We're told, love one another as I have loved you. Of course, if they are totally hopeless, they're hopeless. And you go on from there. Here we go. Because the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. But if somebody's trying to reach out to the light, trying to get a little light, I'll work with them if they work with me. But they're not going to give up, folks. That's why I'm not giving up on this, putting out memes and articles on the VAX. Okay, folks? Clandestine put this up. Hello, peasants. Just a head up. There might be a naturally occurring PLAND soon with a 20% rate, even though it doesn't exist yet. And we don't know anything about it. We need billions to prepare for it and trillions for our VAXs that we already made for it. World Economic Forum. There he is. That's why we got to keep our guard up. People can ask themselves this. Which group are they in? Do you know another group? Is there 5 groups, 6 groups? I don't think so. There are 4 groups right now. Those who believe in the narrative and comply. Those who know it's BS and comply anyway. Those who are waking up and starting to refuse, okay? And those who knew it was BS right from the start and refused to take part in the LIE. There, if you want to get a screenshot, and ask your friends in your social groups which group they're in. Which group are they in? Show them the articles from New Zealand. And other ones that I'll be posting. Because guess what? Right here. Fox News. Anthony Fauci admitted to lawmakers what? He makes a big admission that social distancing mandates were not based on science. And there's a reminder up there, folks. The stupid circles everybody's sitting in, keeping 6 feet apart, people wanting to punch other people in the face because they didn't do their 6 feet, yelling at people who are minding their own business and weren't wearing a mask, right? Here. Former director of the NIH, Francis Collins, chief medical advisor, Fauci, were questioned in a closed-door hearing. They admitted that social distancing was made up. They lied about the origins being a conspiracy theory. And they're still trying to cover up their involvement in gain-of-function research in the lab of Wuhan. The U.S.'s highest-ranking health officials lied to you about everything under the, you know what? They got rid of the scientists who told the truth, covered up viable treatments, and profited immensely. They confirmed everything the conspiracy theorists have been saying since the jump. It came from a lab, from research they funded. and covered up the facts every step of the way. Crimes against humanity. Justice is the only way forward. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, but not retribution. That is, due recompense to a society that has been wronged. Put these memes out there. I'm not going to get the you know what. If you don't take it, you're going to D-I-E by the end of the year. That was in 2020, current year. Hey, I'm still here. That was years ago. Why are you still talking about it? I got long CVID. Here we go. When I arrived to the re-education camp, and my meme folder is suddenly up next to be judged by the tribunal. By the Prosecutorial Politburo, that who knows who's on it, but they'll just serve you with a warrant. Order people to grab your wrists and cuff them behind your back. Who are these people? Who are these people that would form tribunals? They're out there. All right, folks, let's see. I got this one right here for you. And I suggest you all test the same way. Because we know what? That they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up, and we're just going to be walking into the hardest part of the storm. Okay? We're just dealing with some wind and rain, some lightning, and every now and then gusts of wind, but it's going to get worse. We got to be ready for it. Here you go. Once was a way of life, now it's called prepping. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, folks, I got to change everything on my thumbnail on U-Chisel because I couldn't do it. I had to wait till I'm done. And you all enjoyed this meme here. I got to change it to 2024. I'll just leave it the way it is. How I show up to family gatherings in 2023, knowing my conspiracy theories all came true. So anyway, folks, I got a good little quick video that you all enjoyed in the past. I'll play it again. I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me, as always. And I'll probably go live tomorrow night. What the heck? I don't know if it'll be a simulcast. I'll have to see how well the video survived going to Bumble, or if it broke up or what. I don't know. But anyway, folks, we'll see how things go. Thank you all for sticking with me. And I'll be going live tomorrow, and I'm going to be wanting to talk about the channel. And I tell you what, folks, there may be bumps in the road. We may have disagreements. We may have to talk to people we don't want to talk to. But we have to try to reach out to each other, and we can't abandon each other. All right? Every time somebody, feels things that don't go exactly their way. I mean, I do the best I can. This is my channel. I'm plucking this chicken the best way I know how. And I appreciate everybody that helped me on Buy Me a Coffee. And Lone Wolf, I appreciate you coming through while I was limited broadcasting as I was trying to transfer my videos to Bumble. So anyway, I appreciate you all sticking with me and spending your precious time with me. You all have a great night. Enjoy this short video. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little friend.